Hi, I'm Heather Noel from the Giving Game Foundation.
And I'm Sue Greenwald with awakenstories.com.
Oh, I like that. I didn't know that was your .com.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, and another thing I want to throw in is we're going to be talking about holograms, these free holograms, and the website to go to for that is aspaceoflove.com. And so we may be talking about things that you need to go there to look it up, but it's really easy once you get there. It's a great, easy to understand website. So, okay, we are going to talk about these free holograms from a place called HoloTech and a man named King John Smarty. So we're going to chat about that. And I am brand new to this. So a lot of questions will come up because of things that I don't know. And I wanted to just come up with something really simple that people could just start right off with. So Sue has been at this for like 6 years now. And she knows Smarty personally. And so I thought this would be kind of a fun way to do this. So,
right.
I'm going to let you start off.
All right. So I wanted to talk first about frequencies. We know that everything in our universe is frequency: sound, light, color, matter. We're physical beings, but we know that we have molecules that move around. Mm-hmm. We are all made of frequencies. So an illness or an injury can also be made of a specific frequency. Mm-hmm. All right. It has its own pattern. So with the holos that have been created, many of them are protective or preventative frequencies. So in other words, you can use a holo.
This is what a holo looks like.
Ta-da! And you can use a holo, and it's almost like noise canceling headphones, where a noise might have a certain sine wave. The noise canceling headphone uses a similar sine wave to like zero out that frequency. And that's similar to how the frequencies here will work with illness or injury. Of course, if there's something you want to amplify, you can print out a specific frequencies to get more of that into your life. Like, for example, abundance or love, mm-hmm. or, better teeth, more hair. You can print out a specific holo.
Let me give everybody a little example here. So we have different sizes, but like this is a single hologram. Right. And you can, now I got this from Smarty, but they have free ones as well. Right. And then like this is what I did for fertilizer. And so you can cut them. See, you can cut each one out.
Right.
Yeah.
You can also use the holos that are free. Here's, it's not a great example, but this is Love and Light Blanket. Okay. So that's a free one that I downloaded onto my phone. So one way you can use that frequency is you can have your water or your food next to the frequency within about a foot, and maybe have your water sit next to the frequency for a minute or so, maybe 2 minutes. So your water will absorb the frequencies, and when you drink it, that frequency goes into your body to give it the frequency that you're asking for. Mm-hmm. There's lots of ways you can use these holos.
And you can also set it, like this is called a holo sheet. So each one of these are single holograms, and people who make these sheets will often do it by a topic. So this one I was doing because it's for detoxing. And so and what I do is I actually keep this right by my bed I have a little drapey thing. And every time I put my water on, it's just automatically charging it up. Yeah. Right. And so I don't even have to think about it, but it's like, yeah, go ahead.
So these free frequencies we can download to our phones, our tablets, our laptops, and we don't have to spend a penny, and we can have them near our water or our food or whatever we want to charge. But let's say you did want to print. Mm-hmm. These are some I had printed. And if you'll notice, I think there's like 71 different holos in these patterns, and they're very colorful and beautiful. So what I did is I actually sent these. I can print them on my own printer, but I sent these to Walgreens, mm-hmm. and got them 4x4, and they're on glossy photo paper. Nice. So what I've done here is I've made a packet of different holos that I just happen to like, mm-hmm. and I give these out. I put them in a baggie, and then I tell people they can put them near their water, under their water, like a coaster, or they can put it underneath the table where they eat.
Under your pillow.
Yep. Near your, like under your bed. Like I have these like literally taped next to where I sit at night. I have a whole batch taped to my little shelf there. And then I have a batch taped near my bed. I actually have some in my refrigerator. I have them near my water filter. I have them under my kitchen table. I have them tucked around at different corners of the house. So they're beautiful. And I have them in my car. Okay. They're beautiful. And they're very inexpensive. I think Walgreens charged me about 30 cents to print these out. And I had them within an hour or so. Wow. So you can use Target, Staples, any of your famous.
Actually, I will tell you that where you got that done, and maybe Walmart apparently has really, if you want really high quality too, you can do that. Yeah. But like Staples may not have that really crisp look that you got. So that's something to keep in mind. And I wanted to throw in one more thing. So my daughter came up with this. And so for those of you that shop at Costco, not to be doing a promotion, but they had these on sale. And on the bottom of these is this little thing. And it's just a little rubber, whatever. But what my daughter discovered was that this from Smarty, from Smarty's Corner, fits perfectly here. You put your water on it and it's there all the time. And so we love that.
And that's a fat burner hollow.
Yeah. So it's working all the time.
I love that, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things I did is similar to what you have, Heather, here is somebody created these. And I downloaded, there was I think there were 11 or 12 pages of these. So I sent it to Staples to print 11 by 17, which is bigger. And then I had them laminate it. And I think it cost me about $2 a page. Yeah. And then I stacked them, which is something you can do with these. You can stack them. And I use them as placemats. So they're unique, they're bright colored, they're fun. And I'm getting the frequencies in my food and my drink whenever I sit there.
Do you know what just hit me? So this morning we went out for breakfast. And I was thinking, well, I have the Smarty straw, by the way. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But I thought, how can I change my food frequency? And I just realized I could take my own placemat with me. I love that.
Or you could bring your little cheaters version in a baggie. Let's say you're going to a restaurant. I didn't laminate these because I was in a hurry, but you can throw it in a baggie and use it as a coaster or under your under your plate at the restaurant. And of course, you can put it in your purse or whatever. So, your friends might think you're weird, but whatever. If they don't know you by now, that's their fault.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to try not to bump the table. I'm just sorry. So I'm going to try to be very gentle. Okay. So that's okay. So I'm thinking that. What was I going to say? Okay, it left me. Go ahead. Keep going.
So those are the free holos. Basically, you can go to the Bubble Up website, which is on aspaceoflove.com. And there's all sorts of places where you can download the holos or the holo sheets. They're frequency holograms, so they create a field of the frequency that you want, whether it be preventative or something you want amplified. It creates a field. And so some people have been very creative with the graphics, and they put many on the sheet. And of course, we have all different designs and all of that. So I don't actually remember what this one is. It doesn't matter. I've got, I don't know, maybe 10 sheets of 70 something holos each.
How did you get this? You went in and this was already this size, or did you size it?
No, it was already this size. I went to Bubble Up. And
I know how to get there on, like she said, on Space of Love.
I went to Bubble Up and I downloaded however many I did, and these happen to be square. So I went to Walgreens because it's close, and they have a square option 4x4, which is what these are. So it was perfectly printed. I had them within an hour.
Nice.
Yeah. So like I said, I went and made sets of them for everybody.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so they can put them wherever. The more you can have these frequencies around you physically and your food and your water, the more healthy, vibrant, and happy you'll be.
I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. So, so where are we going to next?
Well, we wanted to talk a little bit about Smarty and his Jedis.
Oh, yeah.
So I met Smarty in 2017, and, I wanted to meet him. He sent me a holo over my cell phone when we were talking, and I was like, can I have lunch with you? Like, and I ran right out to meet him because I could feel the energy.
Tell everybody what it was that you were doing.
Oh, I used to run an expo called the Empowered Light Holistic Expo. And Smarty was in the audience for one of the presentations. And he called me a few days later. And that's when he sent me the holo, explained that he could create the frequencies automatically. You know, he generates them himself. And once I talked to him on the phone, I was curious and I had to run over to meet him.
Right.
It was so fun. So, of course, I would meet him as often as he had time for me. But so I've been using the holos for a while. And Smarty he has created a method he calls the Jedi method or the Smarty method. And so for the Jedis, my definition would be those that are actively trying to heal and protect the world. I mean, you don't need to be a Jedi or have a label or whatever to be in that group. But Smarty has created a methodology for healing using these frequencies.
And let me throw this in.
Yeah.
So there's a Telegram page also on A Space of Love. And so there's a link. And then if you want to keep going and help others, or if you need help, so they have one for healing
requests, right?
And then people like Sue, who are Jedis, get in there and they help you with the healing process. And then when you start to understand it, which is what we're going to explain today, if you want to jump in and help people, you can do that as well.
On the Telegram group, which is where most of us are now, there is a Telegram group called Healing and Requests. So let's say we know somebody that's, you know, they've been diagnosed or they're not feeling good or whatever, something has happened. It doesn't even matter what it is. Well, we all work independently on that person to solve the problem. All right, so we are using the Smarty method, and I'll kind of go briefly over that. And
can I throw in a quick testimonial?
Of course.
Okay, so but before we explain how this works, and I'm new to this, but I have to say, when I started making the A Space of Love site, I had heard that people who were doing this work, one guy was named Salim, and he had his computer completely attacked. So I was kind of preparing myself, but the thing that happened was I was working on A Space of Love, and it was fine for a couple of days. And then the minute I created the hot links, so that it would, if you click, it would take it to Smarty and all and the holograms and the bubble up and all that jazz. Within 30 minutes, my whole site was attacked.
Right.
And I couldn't get on the site anymore. But I have my other site, which is a Giving Game Foundation. And it was also attacked because they're on the same server. And that was a big deal to me because A Space of Love wasn't even up yet. That wasn't a problem. But my other site is a big site where people come. It's a 60-day free e-course. So they're coming there every day. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I got in touch with my friend Linda, and she got in touch with Smarty. And he did his magic, and he said, okay, done, have her check. And this was 6 o'clock the next morning because I couldn't even get in touch with my server, nothing. And it was handled. Now, the really amazing thing is it went great for a few weeks, and then I got attacked again. And I thought, well, I can't keep going to him. I got in touch with Sue. She's like, Heather, no problem. I'm getting in touch with the Jedis. And she goes and literally within 30 minutes, it was working again. And I was like, okay. So I thought the next time it happened, and it did, like another day went by and boom, it got attacked again. So this time I used this thing, a little crystal generator, which we'll talk about later. But I just did the method that she's going to teach you. And I brought it back myself. And I was so excited because I was like, I can't keep relying on people to, take care of cyber attacks for me. And that was like such a cool thing. So Sue did that for me.
Sometimes you need we have a very supportive group of people. So like I am also attacked from time to time. And sometimes it's like, get off me or get away from me, and it's no big deal. But there's sometimes it's like, I can feel the difference. It's a big deal. I contact my group of friends immediately and have them help me. And it's a great, very trustworthy group, but we're trying to clear and clean and expose things and basically bring everything to the light. So it's very exciting.
Yeah. Okay. So now we'll tell you how to do the method.
Right. So I'm going to kind of go through the long old-fashioned method, which is the way you need to learn, and give you some of the lingo that we use. So not everyone is energy sensitive. What I used to teach during Reiki or energy healing is you could rub your hands together and then kind of bring your hands together to feel the energy crackle. It should feel warm. It should feel comfortable between your hands. That's like kind of sensing energy. Not everyone can do that, but it's kind of a good practice to kind of feel someone's energy field or whatever.
But even if you can't do it, we've got a solution.
Exactly. So envision an energy ball in your hand or your hands. Doesn't matter how big, doesn't matter what color, but just envision it. Let's just say you can't envision it. Pretend there's a big ball of energy in your hand. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to give it a command or a frequency. So let's say we're going to heal somebody, like maybe Heather has hurt her shoulder or something. Mm-hmm. So I might put in frequencies. And again, just make pretend. If you can't think of what to do, pretend, intend, command that the frequencies for healing go into that ball of energy. Okay. Mm-hmm. I command, healing and connection and blah, blah, blah. So put it in the ball of light. And then if Heather happens to be here, I can pop it into her shoulder. Mm-hmm. If Heather's across town or across the world, I can imagine it going into her shoulder or going into her home or whatever. Mm-hmm. You do not need to have a physical sensation. But for me, I kind of know when it's done. I have a knowing, mm-hmm. right? So the more you do this, the easier it is to know when things are ready to be sent out, mm-hmm. the command. Mm-hmm. So we are not really intending, we're putting a command in an energy ball and sending it to where we want it to go. The Smarty healing method could be used, of course, for people or pets or animals, mm-hmm. plants, a situation or event, mm-hmm. something that's going to happen, something that has happened. It doesn't matter. It's all energy. It's all frequency. So you can heal anything or change anything in a way. All right. So that's the old-fashioned long version. Make an energy ball, put in the commands, and intend or command it to heal whatever. So that's what I would call the old-fashioned way. Okay, that's the way you need to learn. And then if you're not feeling confident, you can test whether that just worked. Now, one other thing is that it's a big thing that I didn't mention earlier, a pretty big thing, is that the frequencies work in we'll call it the etheric or the non-physical realm. All right. Mm-hmm. So I might send an energy ball to Heather immediately, and she may or may not have immediate results. All right. But it's working in her aura. All right. It's working multidimensionally. It's not working specifically in the physical realm. All right. So what happens is there's a lot of factors that will affect how fast you'll experience healing. All right. There's a lot of factors in what we call source. God is really one of the biggest factors. He gets to decide when her shoulder is healed, not me.
All right. I want to explain something about that.
Super.
Okay. So I've heard that before, and I kind of interpret things in the way that I understand.
Okay,
so I'm
cool.
going to throw this out. So I don't personally see it like God going, "Ooh, you can't have this, you can't like it." But what I do know is that let's say that you have a stiff neck, and that the issue behind that is that you are stiff-necked as a person. So your neck is actually trying to show you that you're being stiff, and so you want to get down to the internal issue
belief system,
right? Because otherwise, if you just heal something, whether it's with drugs or anything else, and you just heal it, but you don't handle what the body's trying to tell you, it just crops up again.
That's true.
So that's how I interpret this. And I go, okay, I'm going to go look at the internal, at what I'm thinking and feeling that is behind this. I clear that, and then I bring in this. So I do both. Personally.
And see, not everyone has that consciousness to say, okay, I had this accident because I was thinking negative thoughts repetitively and blah, blah, blah. They can't go there. So we're just offering whatever healing that they can accept, whether it be physical, emotional, or whatever. Like I said, this is on the frequency level. It works on every level And it's not really my decision how fast they're healed.
Right.
Like there's multiple things that affect
exactly.
that.
And I'm actually kind of talking about doing your own healing work, which is, you know, because you're talking about healing others, but I'm saying if you're doing your own work, that's what I personally do.
Yeah.
So,
and you can use this to heal yourself, which is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So we create the energy ball, we put the command in it, the frequencies that we know our friend or ourself or our dog or whatever needs, and we command it to go into that affected area.
Hold on. There's one other thing we forgot. So will you first do the tag and
well,
do you want to do that?
I was just going to lead there. So we have in the Smarty group commands, tag and beg. So we write it TNB, tag and beg. So what happens is we're telling basically God to identify whatever that situation is. So let's say we're picking out groups of people in the world that are doing something we don't like. Tag and beg this group. All right. So I'm not going in and pointing the finger at each person. I don't know them. Basically, source, God, is pointing them up, lighting them up. Okay. So we identify. So we tag and beg, and then we reinforce the command. So we command that the healing, the protective, whatever goes there. And once we feel like confident that it's happened, done. Now I snap. That's my thing. You don't need to snap. But I tag and bag it, that identifies. I reinforce it with confidence. And then when I feel it's done, I say done. That's just my closure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the things I was thinking that we could talk about too is how if you're doing work for another person, and this is just my beginner understanding, but like what I started doing, and I don't know if it's right or not, but it seems to work, is I would literally think about like someone who needed help. And then I personally do what's called a sway test. But there's also a pendulum, and on a space of love, I'm going to have 2 videos up that show you how to do that if you want to know, so we don't take time to do that here. But the first thing I do is I think about that person that I'm helping, and I just sway test, and am I tuned in? And it's like, yeah, and I'll get this yes very clearly. Then I will so if we're doing a command, this is one thing I do want to get a little more. I just created my own commands, but anyhow,
you make it up.
Yeah, and so there, like there's basic stuff that you learn, but it's like if there's something that works for you, just do it. So I would do my own kind of command, and then I would muscle test or sway test to see, did this work? Did it connect? And if it says no, then I might look into it deeper. Or sometimes, you know, one thing that Smarty talks about is he says, ask someone else to do it if you get a no that it's not for you to do. So that's another option. But if you want to talk more about how you command things, especially for an individual. And
I wanted to say also, we like, especially a new person that's not energy sensitive, they have a lack of confidence. So they might send the command and they're like, oh, did that work? Try the pendulum. Okay. So Heather will have that video, or try the sway test. And then you'll say, yes, I have effectively healed Heather's shoulder or whatever I'm doing. That makes me feel like what I did made a difference. And then I feel more confident the next time I do a healing command. Right. So the commands are, again, the old fashioned way. And you know, I don't mean to sound that way because I don't do it that way anymore. I just make the command. All right.
And I've never done it that way. And I've done the commands.
So Smarty starts people off with the energy ball. And, you know, we can put balls of energy with whatever healing frequency all around our house, or, you know, people that are sick or whatever, positivity. It doesn't matter what it is. So for me, I don't use the energy ball and do it as it just seems a little slow, and I'm like the world's most impatient person.
Let's get to it.
So I will just say, tag Jane Doe for healing. Done.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then like you double check and see if it's
I can double check. But I already know it's happened.
Okay. Because you've been at it for a while.
Yeah. So I have a knowing. I do feel energy. I know when it's going to work or not. And especially when there's groups of us all concentrating on an event or whatever, it's much stronger and much faster. Like I said, there's lots of factors though.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm in what we'll call the Jedi groups, and we will identify groups of people that may need assistance in some way, and we send the commands, we tag and bag them, we reinforce it, and then we say, done. It is done.
Okay, let's do tag and bag one more time.
Tag and bag. TNB.
No, but let's because I heard that. Let's do a tag and bag, but let's do it just for an individual and not a whole group.
All right. So tag and bag Heather's shoulders for complete healing and restoration. Reinforced, done, and I snap.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, because I've heard this many times, and I go, wait, what? So tag means what?
Identify.
Okay, so you identify the shoulder. That's the tag, right?
So I'm not we can we'll call it remote view and go in and see, oh, you've got a torn ligament, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Again,
you don't need to even know that.
I don't
just heal it.
Source, God, knows what's wrong with your shoulder.
Right.
I'm asking Source to identify your shoulder.
Okay.
Whatever's going wrong with it. Light it up, if you will. Put attention there. I reinforce the healing, and then I say, done.
Okay. So God's Source is doing the healing.
Yes.
And then you say reinforce, done. Okay.
Right.
That's excellent. I needed to hear that again because I hear people do it all the time.
Yeah.
What is that? Okay.
Yeah. So on our groups, you'll see TNB. And a lot of times, for example, a family member of mine is currently going through a corrupt situation. It's not comfortable at all. And so I tagged and bagged the situation, and then all those around her, all those that work there, blah, blah, blah. I make a list of those that were tag and begging, anyone that's corrupt or covering up the truth. And then we all reinforce that they're exposed and healed, and then we consider it done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can do it from an individual level, or you can do it in the big worldly,
Yeah, we can do it globally.
And what's great is that really helps, because I know, my daughter, she gets so mad about stuff that's going, so what, and they did this, and that's just terrible. Yeah. And how wonderful it is to be able to go, you don't have to worry about it. You just go, okay, tag and bag that one.
Yeah. And I just snap. I don't know why it's completion to me. So I'll be driving along, and my kids are like, oh, she's at it again. But that's my method, because it's just done.
Right.
And then I can think about other things, right?
Yeah. So is this basically what we're talking about now? Is this, if we're going online and it says use the Smarty method, is that what we just did?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else more to the Smarty method?
No. So bottom line, frequencies are everything.
Everything.
Healing, protective, preventative, whatever it is. Doesn't matter what it is. It can work on anything.
Right.
People, places, things, pets, plants, whatever.
Yep. Situations,
events, whatever. Okay. So last year, my son and I were going to the Grand Canyon. We were having monsoons here, severe flooding. Okay. And I didn't want to go up there and spend the money on the hotel and all that and not be able to hike. So I did a command that we were going to have awesome weather. All right. Which was kind of a long shot.
Yeah.
Okay? So I used my crystalline generator, which we're going to talk about in a second. I wrote it on a Post-it note. I said, I don't know, easy trip to the Grand Canyon, awesome weather, whatever it was. Put it on the Post-it note until I got that it was handled. We breezed up there. It was like we had the place to ourselves. It was dry. It was perfect temperature. I think it was 72 degrees. It was amazing. So would that have happened without my command? Maybe. It cost me a Post-it note and a little intention.
Right.
And my trip was smooth as silk.
Nice.
It was awesome.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
next we were going to talk about some of the products what we've talked about is stuff that you can do effectively for free. You can print, or you can have it on your phone, your tablet, your computer. You don't need to spend a penny to use the frequency.
Just remember, you want to have it within 12 inches, basically. So whether you set it on this or you have it next to your phone, you can stack them up.
On Smarty's website, smartyscorner.com, There's a whole bunch of products, and we thought we might go through some of the most popular ones,
right,
and kind of tell you how to use them.
And let me just say, Smarty's Corner is spelled Smarty with a Y corner.
Yeah.
So what YS corner?
Yeah. It'll be on your website,
and
too.
It's on my website.
A billion places. So the first thing is the jewelry, and these are under the reloadable category. So these are what we call Super Smarty charms. All right. So
basically it's a pendant.
And like I have the man size, which is a little bit bigger. And then
I have the girl size. Child and women's, which I actually wear 2 of these at a time.
Yeah. We took one off so that she could show the camera.
So so this is one of them. Now I happen to have the rainbow version, but there's all different colors and all kinds
sizes,
of things.
Patterns.
I just am kind of a rainbow person. Apparently you are too.
Well, I have a silver flower of light that's my favorite too, but I do like the rainbow.
Yeah.
And then Smarty also has the bracelets and the earrings.
So let's explain what a reloadable means.
Reloadable has all of the frequencies that are out there are automatically put in. So every time someone asks for a new frequency to be created into a holo, okay, because there's some, let's call them obscure diseases that, whatever, it's automatically put into our charms. Our bracelets, our earrings, whatever's under the reloadable category automatically gets updated.
Right? And there's one cool thing about it I have to add.
Okay.
People say that when he does the reloads,
they warm up.
They'll warm up.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah. And I think these have 1,000-foot radius. Okay. So basically, if I'm going to the grocery store, bebopping around the store, the produce, the people that I pass, they're all getting the frequencies, which lifts everybody up. So it's so cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And there are people that will take things and put it in water, like in a river, and just kind of, that's really cool.
So what I've actually put these in the bathtub if I'm soaking in the tub, which I love doing. I'll put these in the tub. You can use these in really creative ways. Mine only comes off when I'm doing yoga because I almost knocked my teeth out a couple times. They're a little heavy, but other than that, I wear them even in the shower. Wherever I'm going, I wear my charm always.
Well, I'm going to show you something interesting. So if you can see how this is, I don't know if it's close enough, but there we go. It kind of, okay.
Yeah.
So what my daughter did that was so clever was she would like cut it to the size that she wanted. So if you look, I've got like 2 that hang like this,
they cascade. Yeah.
And so if you don't want that length, you just get out your needle nose plier and get it to the length you want. And then it won't hit you in your teeth if you're doing yoga.
Well, I have a regular chain. I don't have that chain anymore.
Oh, okay.
I bought my own chain because I want it.
Okay.
So, all right. So the first category was reloadable. The jewelry is great because you can put it on and it's like passive. You don't have to think about it.
Right.
We like that.
Yeah.
Now, there's also a couple other things under the reloadable categories. And one of the most fun product, I think, is the straws. So a set of straws, I think it has 3 straws in it.
Yeah.
And this is the rainbow color. They're very pretty, but they're super fun to use because you're drinking out of a straw. You put it in your drink and you can see that it purifies your drink. You might see it bubble just a little bit. Mm-hmm. I've been using these like crazy, and
I have a big fat one I was going to show everybody.
I thought it was in a bottle.
It's in the bottle. Okay, so this is the great big version.
3 different straws and a cleaner in the kit.
Right.
The straws are amazing gifts, and they are fun to use. Who doesn't love drinking out of a straw?
Right. Well, guess what? I don't. So, but guess what I do? Here's the beautiful thing. You can just have it sitting in your water. It does not have to be, you don't have to drink out of it. You can just have it sitting there.
Yeah.
And I have to tell
I know what you've done.
So I have a testimonial I'm not going to give you right now, but I had a cat that had a UTI. And I had this one of the Smarty straws is like this, but it has this little hook, little kind of like goes like that. Yeah. Okay. Which I knew I was never going to use because it couldn't fit in my bottles. So I used my my needle nose pliers and I cut it into 4 pieces and I put it in the different water bowls. And I also gave it to my hummingbird feeder, and the hummingbirds are like, oh, I love your food. It's so great. So I have this all over. So it's great because I love having it in the containers, but that you can share it with your pets. I really love that. Oh, there's going to be a pet thing kind, but it's not
a pet charm.
Yeah. So look for that.
I bought the straws for everyone, and everybody got their own little set for Christmas. And we have fun because if we make shakes or smoothies, you know, you're going to drink out of a straw. It's fun.
It is.
Yeah.
And you can also, so here's the thing. Let's say you're all having something out of the blender. You could sit this in there for like a minute or two, and it does the whole blender, and then you just pour it out. So everyone gets.
It's amazing.
So this has the same level. I'm sorry.
It has all the frequencies that this is.
Yeah.
Now the
Which is so cool.
The only frequencies that this does not contain is sleep.
Oh, that's good.
And weight loss, because not everyone needs to or wants to lose weight.
Good thing I got this one.
I know. I know. So for sleep, look under the Reloadables category. It's an orange, like a circle. It's a crystal sleep. It's a sleep crystal, I guess we call it. It's orange. And I've got one because I have insomnia.
I bought one.
I put it under my pillow. Now I used to put it inside my pillowcase, but it went through the washer several times, and then I lost it. So I bought another one that I just put under my pillow, and that's been there for a couple of years.
Nice.
And there's also even a comforter set you can buy.
Oh yeah.
I do not own the comforter set.
I don't either.
But I've heard good things about it. All right.
Nice.
So that's Reloadable.
Does it help people sleep because it's a comforter? Oh, cool.
Because you've got all the frequencies and of course you're there for theoretically 8 hours.
Right. Theoretically.
So yeah. So those are some Reloadable products that you can use. And again, the price is modest. They do go on sale a couple times a month. So, you know, depending on what you're after, the price is modest. You do have to pay for them. And then you'll get your order within about a week or two.
Yeah. It was pretty quick. That gives you kind of so I started off with that. I'm just going to throw that out.
Yeah.
I just started off with this, and I have to tell you, I do have to throw in a testimonial here about this. Okay. So my daughter, who, you know, so I have this thing called the Giving Game Foundation. It teaches people how to create new neural pathways in the brain, so that when I was talking about changing it just teaches you how to do it, and it's free. So you would think that my daughter would be like, got that. But no, she would get like, you know, she'd get all, and she's 25 now. So
kids never listen.
Well,
they absorb, they don't listen.
It wasn't a listening thing as much as she would take stuff very personally, you know, and I have a lot of clients. So I'm like, dude, I say this to people all the time. They don't take it personally. You do. She's like, I can't help it. And so, so she started wearing her Smarty charm, and I'm like, don't you take that off, wear it. So she started wearing it all the time. And I'm not kidding you, about within a week or two, she came into my room. It was one of those things where I was trying to point something out to her. It's like really middle of the night, and she's like going into drama. And then all of a sudden she burst out laughing. I mean, just regale of laughing. And like when I work with clients, I'm always trying to get them to laugh, because personally, I believe it breaks the hypnotic suggestion about the problem. If you can laugh your ass off over your problem or over your depression or whatever it is, it's like boom. And she wears it all the time now. And that old tendency has been completely eradicated, and she loves her pendant and wears it all the time. And it has been amazing. I mean, for me, because it's the work that I do, it's like what I talk about when a person has a major breakthrough. That was such a huge breakthrough, and it was directly connected to her wearing this. That's because amazing. She knew all the concepts already, right? So I just can't tell you how much I love it. And I wear mine all the time. I know a lot of people take them off and take a break, but I'm like, nah, I love mine.
I bought this a charm, I don't remember which one, for my friend for her birthday last year. It was wrapped in a little box with, you know, wrapping paper. And I put it in her hand. I said, happy birthday. And she went like, like she felt the energy immediately. She's like, what is this? So the energy was so strong for her. So, you know, not everyone has that reaction, but that to me was proof that she felt the energy. Oh yeah. Like she flinched.
Oh yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, okay. When we get to the crystalline generator and the black hollows,
well,
we got to talk about the lady. Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that now.
Okay. Here we go.
All right. So One of the other healing tools that we have, there's so many, is called the crystalline healing generators, right? Crystalline frequency generators. Yeah. I just call mine the CG.
Right.
Okay.
So one is the crystalline, and then there's one called the black hollow, which is also really cool. And I happen to have the black hollow here. They all look kind of the same. You know, they have this look to them, and you can kind of see the size by my hand. But we had a really cool thing. I hadn't met Sue yet. And I found out that she lived here. And it was one of these days where I was just I couldn't figure out where I was supposed to go and where I was supposed to be. And all of a sudden it's like, Heather, go to the post office. I was heading south and I'm going north to the post office, like a couple blocks. And this generator was waiting for me. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I get a text from her and she's literally a block away from me. And I'm like, guess where I am? So,
which is a major occurrence.
It was a major. Yeah. And we live in Sedona, so you know, all 7 miles away from us. Right. So she's talking to a lady at the Crystal.
Yeah,
and
Angela,
she's an amazing woman.
Yep.
I'm gonna put up the video, but this lady was like, I'm like, wait, I'll go to my car and bring back the generator. I put it in her hand. She was like, and it was the same kind of thing. Yeah. And she's like, I work with crystals all the time. I'm like, I get energy. Yeah. And then she starts talking about it, going up and down and around, switches hands. Oh my gosh, and now it's going down.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting. Cool. Yeah, it is.
You know, here's a little story. I took 3 videos of Angela that day. Well, the second 2 had my finger in front of it the whole time. No lie. I had to delete them. And I mean, I've done that a billion times. You'd think I would have learned by now. But they're very powerful. So the way to use the crystalline frequency generator to heal. Yeah. Let's say you know of a specific individual. You need to do one individual at a time. Okay. So let's say you have a picture of that person. You print the picture out and put the crystalline frequency generator on top of it.
Okay. So we'll pretend this is a person with their photo.
Yeah.
And you just put this here.
Right.
Right.
Right. Now, if you don't have a printer, what do? Use your phone.
That's right.
Or your tablet or whatever.
Right.
And put it right on the phone.
So you'd have their picture. So pretend this is someone's picture.
Right.
And then you would just put this right next to, or you could set it like that on your phone.
Yeah. Now, you don't specifically need any frequencies or commands here. The crystalline generator already knows what they need. It's already working on them. Now, what I was doing is I would test, are we done yet? Is Jane Doe done with it? Nope. Yes. Okay. So like I put it on the Post-it note for the Grand Canyon. I waited until it said it was done. And then I left it a little longer just for fun, you know. But I literally
but it literally changes what so explain how it goes into the photo and you can give the person the photo as well as doing the healing.
So basically you want to do, like, if you have, say, 2 people in a picture and you're healing one, you want to crop the other person out.
Oh, yeah.
It's important to only do one person at a time because it's going to go back to their source intended DNA.
And that would include pets too, wouldn't it?
Pets.
No pets.
We do a lot of pets.
But I mean, just the pet by itself, not with the person in it.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
What happens is if you did a whole group of people at once, that would commingle the DNA. And we don't want that.
No.
We want them, each individual, healed to their original source intended blueprint. All right. So now here's the cheaters version.
Okay.
Right.
Well, I love that. I love cheaters versions.
I've got cheaters versions for everything. So my printer that I bought was a lemon and didn't print after a while. So plan B, which is not really preferred as much as plan A, is to write the person's name on a Post-it note and put the crystalline generator on top of it.
Okay, hold on one second. Do you want to throw in your little, how that worked for you? Because I just did a testimonial for you, but did you want to say anything or just no?
I do not look good right now.
No, you're right. Okay, go. Okay,
I'll just say it's just changed a lot for me in a very short amount of time.
Excellent.
Yes, took a week for it to like sink in.
Do you want to say that in front of the camera? We look pretty good. You want to come look so you see how you look? Okay. And look how cute she made hers. Come here, get over here. This is Amelia. Okay, now show them what you did with your, isn't that the cutest thing what she did with her necklace?
That is her Smarty charm.
Yep.
That she made a little chain for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, no,
well, not the chain.
And just tell them how much you liked it.
Well, it's not the chain. It's the necklace that I added on this part right here. Well, for me, it definitely made a difference. And the longer I wore it and
the times where I wasn't wearing it, like with throughout the day, I would notice a difference. So it's kind of like I got used to wearing it, and then I noticed a difference when I wasn't. And I don't know, it's just.
And you said something to me about like you get like a suggestion of depression and it would just stop it. Remember?
Yeah, so kind of like, you know how people always say, oh, I'm so depressed. But you got to look at what kind of music are you watching, or what kind of music are you listening to, what kind of movies are you watching, what are you feeding your subconscious that's suggesting that you are depressed, that you identify with that person who's depressed, because it's just a suggestion. It doesn't mean there isn't that feeling, because I've dealt with it and worked with it. Doesn't mean you can't move through it, but
it shifted when you put on the necklace. I know it
did. It shifted like miraculously. So it was more like I get like the suggestion of it, and I was just like. It was like a boring thought. Like it.
That's cool.
So that's just my experience anyway.
Yep.
I guess that's one way to explain it anyway. So.
Thank you, darling.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
Okay.
All right. Did you show them time?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I gave you credit.
Yeah, you did.
I did. Okay.
All right. So we talked about the crystalline generator. Let's talk about the wands.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
The wands are so fun.
So fun.
So one of the reasons Heather and I met, I went to a music festival in Sedona, and I took my wand and my crystalline generator. I wanted everybody. The ponies, they had snakes, all the animals, every person, everyone that was sick. I wanted everybody, like crazy all day long.
So
for like 10 hours.
So she took a metal one.
I did.
Because these glass ones are amazing, but they will break.
Yeah.
We call them crystalline, but whatever it is,
Yeah.
it'll break. So you want it. So I bought like 4 of those. I keep some by my kitty's food. But these guys, I have 3 of these, and
I don't know if you have different flavors.
no,
like
they're all the same.
Okay.
But I'm working with these. I sleep with them. I've used them on. I use them. Can I tell one more?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So this cat that had the urinary tract infection, took him to the vet, and he had a lot of pain. So she gave him a shot, and then she gave him a shot for pain. And what she didn't tell me was that it was an opioid. And I wouldn't have wanted that if she told me. And he literally, like his eyes were like this when he got home, and he just sat in a corner, and he couldn't handle light. So he went under a table, and we put a little blanket over it, and he would just sit straight up like this. And it was supposed to wear off in 24 hours, but 40 hours later, he was still like that. I never saw him lie down. He was just like this. And he just wasn't himself. He wouldn't jump up on anything. He couldn't move properly. And so it was early in the morning, and I took this wand, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I'm just, okay, I'm going to let the wand do its work. And so, and like he let me do it for a couple of minutes, then he kind of backed away, and I thought, oh, maybe it's a little strong for him. So I got in bed, and I just held it, and I just started doing some of my little healing work that I do. And then a few minutes later, he jumped on the bed, and he went between my arm and my body, and his body was twitching. So it's interesting. I don't know if the twitching was that this had set it off to kind of clear it, like, because I know bodies can twitch, but he twitched for like 20 minutes. Right. Then he jumped off the bed, and he came back, and I had put on this necklace in the meantime, and he literally laid across my chest to be on top of the necklace. Then he went between my arm, and all of the twitching was gone. Right. And then my other cat wanted to go out. So I had the curtains closed because he couldn't handle light. He had not been outside at all. And I just opened the glass door. He leaped off the bed, ran outside onto the balcony, and laid down in the sunshine. And I was like, wow. And that was in like maybe 40 minutes altogether. After that, I discovered that the stuff for the UTI infection hadn't worked. So I worked with him again with the crystal. And then that's when I got the idea to cut the straw.
Yeah.
And I put that in his water,
Yeah.
and literally it completely healed him. So
Yeah.
it was amazing, because I needed to see that because I would have just thought that the vet had done her job. And if it worked, if it had worked the first time and healed both of them. So when we talk about, maybe source doesn't want something to heal, it was really important for me to know that I didn't need to go to a vet again, that I could do it myself with Smarty wand.
And these are what we call point and shoots.
Okay.
So let's just say you're going to heal someone. Now, maybe they've got an evident disease or illness or a broken arm or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can go up and just wave it around them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or what I do is just wave it around them anyways. And I've had great luck. So the day of the music festival, my friend had fallen on a trail. She was bleeding, limping, not a horrible mess, but she was in pain.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already bringing my stuff with me. It was already packed in my purse. So I wanted her, especially the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
And she was ready she danced by the end of the afternoon. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So,
and you can do it to yourself. Just, put it on your shoulder.
You can wand yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you're energy sensitive, you'll feel the energy start. So last night, my friend was bitten by a dog quite severely in the hand. So she asked me to come over and work on her. So first thing I did is I added her to the healing and request group.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent a picture over later, and I texted you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I took my wand over and my crystalline generator. I gave her a spare Smarty charm and some holos to put by her bed.
Mm-hmm.
And explained it all to her, but I wanded her. And while I was wanding her hand, she says, it's feeling better.
Oh, that is
her hand was a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are point and shoot. So you go up to the person, could I wand you? And you just wave it around. You may be drawn to a certain part of their body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go there. That's where they need the healing. Just kind of circle it around until you kind of feel like it's time to stop.
Right?
Yeah.
I forgot to mention something. Okay, so for people on my website at givinggamefoundation.com, there are quite a few people who work with this thing called a HEALY, which is the same kind of idea of frequency technology. But here's what I discovered. So this goes out at a certain level, but when I got this crystalline generator, and like if you're sensitive to energy, and you, especially if you can muscle test, what I started doing was I would send out the frequencies through this HEALY, but I would do it with the generator. Oh my goodness. It like magnifies it like crazy. So I just wanted to throw that.
That's amazing.
In.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for anybody who works with other, frequency things,
right,
add the generator. Right. Oh my gosh.
And so these wands, again, the difference is metal doesn't break as easily as whatever glass or crystal, but you're basically pointing and shooting at the person.
Yeah. Oh, right. I have one more thing to tell you.
Of course.
So Amelia, who you saw earlier, she is a super psychic. And just to give you an idea, I swam every day for a month with dolphins when I was in my 4th month of pregnancy with her every day in captivity. So she's like, woo. Anyhow, I said, so she was trying this. And then I said, okay, I'm getting a 7-inch one that is brand new. It just came on a couple of days ago, or maybe a week or two ago. But anyhow, I just bought it a couple of days ago, and we're sitting outside, and I said, okay, so you've tried this. Now just tell me, what do you feel in comparison to the 7-inch one? And what's that one called? Is it like a R1 or something? It's 7 inches. Just stick with that idea. Okay.
Yeah. It's R1 or R2. I don't know, to be honest.
Well, whatever it is, you'll just see that it's 7 inches. This is 4 inches. So that's the difference in that. So Smarty, now I didn't tell Amelia anything, but when Smarty was talking about this, he goes, yeah, this one's 100 times more powerful. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to roll with that. That sounds cool. So I ordered it, but I had Amelia check into it. Didn't tell her a thing. She said, okay, she goes, this one is like working with fairy energy.
Which is awesome.
It's awesome. And it's beautiful and it's sweet and lovely. She goes, but that one that's 7 inches, she goes, it's like, imagine an orchestra in a dome. And and it's just like all around you. And not only is the orchestra playing, but for every sound that they put out, there's color, right?
Yeah,
so there's a color all going around this dome. She said that's the difference. And I'm like,
it's amazing.
I'm so glad I bought one.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So the wands are something, again, anyone can use for only purposes of the light.
Yeah.
If you try to do something nefarious with them, they're not going to work. Sorry. All right.
Sorry.
Too bad. All right. Yeah. Now, one of the other products that I love, I don't know if you have one here or not, is the fuel chip.
I do.
Have one?
I do.
Okay. I thought you had one.
So there's a free version that's bigger, right?
Yeah.
But I don't have that because I bought it, and I'm
right.
so glad I did.
So the fuel chip is a sticker, basically.
Okay.
And you
This
put
is
it.
what it looks like.
Yep.
Okay. Oop, I don't know if that's helping. Oh well. Anyhow, small.
Yeah.
But can I say one quick thing? You said it's a sticker, but it is so tightly on this back that I didn't realize you could actually stick it, excepting I was watching Smarty do a demo and he stuck it. I was like, oh, that would come off. So you have to really work to get it off, but it will come off and it will stick.
Yeah. Okay. So basically what you do, open your gas cap and stick it either inside the gas cap or on the little wall of the gas cap. Well,
not inside the gas cap.
Not inside, no, but inside the little
area, right?
Yeah.
And it has to be something metal. So stick it onto metal.
Yeah. Or let's say you have something that's like a Jeep or something that's plastic and it's, stick it in your trunk area, wherever is close to the gas tank. All right. So what this sticker will do for your car is it's going to allow you to get more mileage per gallon and the emission will be pure. In other words,
and then you use this for the pure emission, don't you?
I don't know that actually does anything. I put it on my car.
I got this and I didn't order it. It just came with, and it's kind of hard to tell, but you can
it says
peel the back up.
And
it says emissions.
Yeah.
So I put this on my car and literally, I would say within a couple of weeks, I used to be like, if I backed up my car and had the window down, I don't even notice the emissions anymore. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. And there is a video that Smarty's done showing how your car will steam instead of putting out whatever pollution it does.
Yeah.
So imagine if we all had the fuel stickers. Number one, we're going to save money on fuel, which we all love.
Yeah.
But it's giving us cleaner air.
Well, I want to give a quick thing about this. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So I had a full tank of gas. I went, now the thing is, because of our gas prices, this is like, but I literally was able to go 300 miles on $60 worth of gas, but it was at $4.45 a gallon. And I thought, it's funny because, a year or two ago, it was like $2.25 a gallon, right? So when I looked at it that way, and I look at 300 miles, it would have cost me $30 to do 300 miles. And that's because I can't tell you what it was per gallon, but that was my best way. And I was like, wow, 300 miles for $30 was what I would have remembered in terms of gas prices, right?
Yeah. Well, I've been tracking my gas prices, and of course, gas has literally doubled. So in the old days, about 4 or 5 months ago,
right?
To fill up my car would be like, say, $34, and I would go almost 500 miles.
Right.
Okay. And I'm mostly doing local stop and go driving. Okay. Now I have tracked it and I could have made a mistake. Right. Now my gas expense itself has gone up. It's doubled, $64 last time. But I think I got 700 miles out of the last tank of gas.
I believe that.
Yeah. And I have been tracking it because I wanted to, I trust that it's working, but I wanted to see proof. Now, also, I have a little computer on my car. My car is rated for 30, and I put this out there a couple times. I've gone up to 75 miles a gallon, 45, whatever it is, so it works.
So there is a free version, but there's definitely a difference. Like I tried the free one. I'm like, oh, that looks a little better. Well, I think I'll just pay for it. So I got 2 stickers and so I put one on each of our cars, but it's been amazing. Really
Another thing that I would recommend is for your circuit breaker box. I don't think we have it here. It's called the source generator, and you'll find it on smartyscorner.com under the stickers category. And it's basically, it looks almost like that same sticker, about 1 inch big, but you'll put it inside your circuit breaker box and you will literally see your energy bill, your electric bill drop.
Wow,
All right.
that's so cool.
So that is, of course, the paid version. Now, there are free versions. The paid ones are a little stronger. Just being honest.
Yeah.
Right?
And the cool thing is, you know, I think I'm happy to pay for stuff because I'm really happy to support Smarty because he just comes up with more and more stuff. So it really helps when people buy things from him. But he's so generous to give all this free stuff. And you know what? You don't have to believe anything we're telling you. You can just do your own thing with your phone and just see what happens.
Right.
It's pretty amazing.
I think that's the way many of our friends have started. Like they'll print out several of the free holos. Maybe they're print. Now, when you print them out, ideally, they're printed on photo paper, and ideally you'll laminate them so you don't, you know, spill water on them and they'll run. You want to keep the integrity of the photo, but you put them under your desk, your chair, your table, in your refrigerator, all wherever your food is stored. There's also pest repellent holos, and you can purchase them or you can print them. All right. So there's holos for everything.
Oh, and fertilizer.
Fertilizer one too.
I have the small one. Yeah, this is so this is the free version.
Yeah.
But I also bought another version, and this is how little it is if you buy it, so it looks different.
Yeah.
But you just put them right in with your plants, and people have the most amazing testimonials to go with these. Yeah. So, but if they're growing things like you know, like tomatoes that were under snow and they came up perfectly and all kinds of stuff. And
I know that Smarty, I believe, is working on a new pet holo.
Oh, yes.
I guess it was taken off the website. I didn't know that, but my cat has its own holo, and I basically put it right between the food and the water bowl. And my cat is very healthy, but my story is the cat got bit by a rattlesnake last summer.
Oh.
It was pretty nasty. Shortened version, if you don't get your pet to the vet within 20 minutes, there's literally nothing they can do. And if the pet doesn't last past the second day, well, it doesn't last. Yeah. Well, I could not figure out what was wrong with her initially. Around day 4 or 5, I took her to the vet because it was pretty nasty. But there was really not much they could have done. But I really think that pet holo helped because she's super healthy to start with.
Wow. Nice.
Well, that's good really testimonial, cool. Right?
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for those. In fact, I have one of these, and it hangs on our dog's collar because they didn't have one for pets at the time. So I'm excited for the pet version. Yeah.
So I think he's going to be bringing out cat and dog collars and some other things for pets because that's important to people. But like right now, you can use the free ones. Oh, geez, there's free ones on the website. Yeah. And if you go to the Bubble Up app, like we'll put in the links, someone's made a sheet for pets.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. There's a sheet really of maybe 20 or 30 holos on it.
And he brings out new stuff too. So once if you're into this, which you must be if you've come this far with us, but, you can keep an eye out for new things.
Yeah.
And on Telegram, also Smarty will put up his new holograms. So if you follow him directly, and there's a direct link, so you'll get the right person. There are fake Smarties out there, so watch out for that. And don't give him any money because he won't ask for you for money. Right. So, but one quick thing I wanted to say. Okay. So this has like thousands, maybe millions of different frequencies, right? But your body will only access and use what it needs. Right. So you don't have to worry about all the many, many holograms that are in there. It'll just work with your physical form the way it needs to be.
So like I said earlier, the only ones it doesn't include are the sleep because you can't have it when you're driving or whatever. Right. So you can buy the sleep crystal or, print off the free holo for that. The other one is fat loss or, weight loss. And I'm sorry about that, but there are stickers, there are coasters, and there are fat loss holos that you can use.
This one. Yeah. And my daughter swears by this. She's been using that.
I had 2 fat loss coasters and my friend broke them both. I was so sad because I used them all the time.
Well, see, and this is just a sticker. It isn't even a coaster, so you can't break these.
Yeah, mine was like a coaster.
Yeah. So, but this is, Okay.
I think those are our favorite products. There's lots more on the website, But just, we wanted to give you an overview of how to use the commands, how to use the holos, the frequencies.
Right.
Anything else you can think of?
The only thing I can think of is that if you go, so there's all these links into Telegram, and there are a few different groups there that are all connected, and you'll go to the right place automatically. But really, it's kind of like we've given you the basic stuff that I wondered about all the time in the beginning, like what's a Jedi and what does that mean? And, you know, but one of the things I can say about the Jedi thing is that you don't have to like sign up or take a class or anything. You can participate if you choose. If you are, and the other thing I would say is if you already have healing techniques, just add this stuff to it.
Totally.
It is so cool. I didn't know what she was just teaching about the energy, but I do know about healing. And so I just do my own thing and I'm like winging it. It still worked.
I did all the healing modalities, and, you know, I don't practice because I just can't stand standing there for an hour, right? Why not just put this on a picture and say done?
I love that.
It's a lot easier.
Yep.
One thing I did want to say about Smarty himself is he will give us a piece of information or a news item or whatever it is. He wants us to go out and research for ourselves and prove it to ourselves that it works.
Right.
He's not trying to brainwash us. He's not trying to influence us. He'll give us the facts and say, go look it up.
Right.
Which, you know, for those that are motivated, I have been.
And I'm not motivated at all. I am like totally experiential. It's true. I am an experiential person. I don't have to like look it up. I can just feel into it like that. And it's either yes or no. And I get it, you know? So,
and I'm at that point too. Like, I don't need to read an article or do this or that. I already know if it's true or not for the most part. There's, you know, times, but I already know if someone's trying to persuade me or whatever. So that's what I like the fact that he wants us to research for ourselves.
Right. And so I guess I would tell you very quickly, Smarty said he was going to do an interview with me. So if that takes place in the not too distant future, you can go and look it up online. Yeah. And what I'm hoping that he'll do is just introduce himself to everybody and tell his own story rather than me trying to tell you what I've heard, you know. But go ahead.
He's amazing, and he is who he says he is. And I've confirmed it myself, as well as my daughter, who's extremely psychic as well. And of course, I've known him for a few years, so I guess I'm a lucky one.
Right. And my daughter said the same thing when we were doing. So what I was doing with her was I was just going, honey, just practice. You're so gifted. And she's like, oh, I just want to be a normal person. I'm like, forget it. It's too late. So, but I said, okay, it's just, so we were just tuning into different things. And I said, okay, just tune into Smarty. And she tunes in and her eyes kind of go like, and then she's like, wow, he is so much more than people realize. And she was just like, whoa, you know? So it is kind of like the same thing about the, you know, the 7-inch. She was like, whoa, he's just like, So, and I, what I love about him, I'm just going to throw this in. He is so, let me put it this way. If I was to pick the perfect person to be,
like camouflage.
He's camouflage. Let's say that he has. Oh, I do have to throw this in. So I have a friend who's very psychic, and we were looking into all this, and we're like going, okay, let's just tune in here and see what this is all about. And so we got this incredible, like, big yes, we get this. So. But the thing with Smarty that's so interesting is his background. Like we were talking about, okay, if we had the second coming of the Christ, first of all, we know it couldn't be a woman because no one would buy that. But what would be the perfect, like, thing that would break all of your barriers about what you think that would look like? And so, you know, Smarty was born in Puerto Rico, right, in the ghetto. And as a young man, he was shot point blank twice, and the bullets never reached him. He was in like 7 car accidents, just walked away untouched. He a few days ago said, oh yeah, this is my 6-year anniversary of getting out of prison. I love that. And I'm like going, you're the perfect representative, because anybody who follows this has to get over their bullshit. You have to get over what you think it's supposed to look like, have your own experience. And the people who can't get over it, they're not really meant to do this, and that's okay too.
Right.
But for those who really throw themselves in and have these experiences and realize how you can magnify your own healing work, it's really fun.
He flew in under the radar, and probably he really didn't come into his memories, and he's still coming into them, if you will, into the past maybe 8, 9, 10 years. He didn't know, and that was a perfect camouflage, because if he had known and gone about as a little kid shooting his mouth off, he wouldn't be here now, right?
Yeah.
So
Are we done?
I think we're done.
I think
Thank
we
you
did
so
it.
much for watching.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.